Good evening. I recently read A House with Good Bones by Kingfisher. The main character, Sam, is on her way home to spend a couple months with her mother in North Carolina. It's been a while since she's seen her mom, and she's a little concerned. Like, her brother had called her recently to tell her that he feels a bit like their mom is acting really strange. Like, for instance, her mom told his wife not to visit anymore, even though technically they got along like really well. So she's a little concerned and she's not really sure what she's going to find when she gets there. And the first thing that greets her when she does arrive at the house is a vulture on their mailbox. And like, the vultures end up being something of a constant feature like during her stay. And there are a lot of peculiar things going on, like with her mom and the house, that kind of put Sam on edge. For instance, her mom's repainted the inside of the house to make it look a lot more like how it used to look when her grandmother was still alive. Like, there's a painting back on the wall that they actually all kind of hated, that like only their grandmother liked. And deep down, she's starting to be concerned that maybe her mom is going a little crazy. But it's not just that her mom is behaving unlike herself. Like, when she takes a look at places like the garden, she discovers that there are no bugs. So Sam is I think calls it like an archaeoentomologist. Like, she studies insect remains in archaeological digs. Like, apparently you can learn a lot about things by studying the kind of bugs that you got in an area, which actually makes a lot of sense, although it didn't really occur to me before I read this book that would actually be a job out there, and she said as much. But, so she pays attention to insects and she discovers that there isn't like a single bug of any kind around like their garden. Like, when she visits the garden shed, she's thinking, yeah, it has to be like the only shed in existence that has zero cobwebs. So it's really more than just her mom's odd behavior. And Sam's determined to figure out what's going on, but more than that, she's determined to save her mom from whatever trouble she has gotten into, like whatever it is. So, something I liked about this story, I found the setup and the way it built up the mystery really interesting. Like, I enjoyed hearing about Sam's job. Like, it does tell you bits and pieces of about like the work that she does, both in like archaeological sites and like with bugs and stuff in general. I have to admit, bugs are not my favorite thing, but it's still interesting to hear about such a different kind of occupation. Something I did not like, however, I do feel a bit like, I think I found the conclusion of this story a little too simple. Like, this is a haunted house type story, and it felt a bit like the climax to me was both kind of sudden, like, and a little too easy. Like, it was a little bit like if you had, I don't know, something bad and you just sort of tell it to go away and it does. So it felt a little bit like solving, I guess, a problem that you'd spent a lot of time building up to happened more quickly and more easily than I found satisfying. And it kind of turned from a haunted house story to more of a monster story, which I don't find quite as interesting.